Company 2 Vietnam, perhaps the best expansion pack that has ever been released for a Battlefield game. The Reddit community of Battlefield 3, R Battlefield and R Battlefield_4, which is the new Reddit for Battlefield 4 officially, regrouped this weekend from the 19th to the 21st of April to repopulate the servers on Bad Company 2 on Xbox 360, PlayStation 3 and PC. And oh my goodness, I'd forgotten just how amazing this game was. Bad Company 2 Vietnam was the last expansion pack for Battlefield Bad Company 2, and it was the only expansion pack for that game that you actually had to pay for. I think it was about $14.99 expansion, and you got 4 maps with that, and you got a standard set of guns, and everything was all remade to look like the Vietnam War. And it came out of the blue. A lot of people didn't even know that this expansion was coming along for Bad Company 2. They just announced it at E3 a year after the game had been released, and this expansion is what we got. And it pretty much rounded off Bad Company 2 as best as it could have been. But what this commentary is really about, it's about bringing the essence of Bad Company 2 and the Vietnam expansion back into the Battlefield series. I just think that Bad Company 2, and especially with the Vietnam expansion pack, so much more time, care and effort went into that game than what we got with Battlefield 3. And I really hope the developers bring that forward into Battlefield 4, because it could be such an awesome game. The first thing I can think of is the grenade launcher in Battlefield Bad Company 2 Vietnam. Now, if you use the Assault class, you have to use this grenade launcher as sort of your equipment slot. So it is, if you play on PC, that's number 3 on the keyboard, I think. It's essentially where the defibs should be in the medic class for Battlefield 3. Now, it's not as powerful as the underslung grenade launcher that you can get in the Battlefield Bad Company 2 multiplayer. In Vietnam, you have to switch to it from your main assault rifle, which made it less powerful overall, because obviously there's a time delay from when you've got to switch weapons so that you can fire it. It's not just a noob tube, you've got to have a little bit more skill, and you've got to have a little bit more patience to use it. But what I really want to talk about is the sound that it makes, and I found this little blog post, and it was about a year ago that I found it now, but I still remember it to this day. And it was about the sound that this sort of grenade launcher makes. And what they actually said was the developers used 21 individual sounds, resampled them, and put them back into a 1-second file just to make the sound for that grenade launcher. It does have rather a distinctive sound, you must have heard it by now because there's footage in the background. But I think that kind of dedication to get 21 different sounds and then put them into one clip just for one weapon that you'll only use for a couple of seconds every game is the kind of dedication that we need to see in Battlefield 4. Also, the way they had to completely redesign all of the character animations, all of the character models, all of the weapons, all of the UI, specifically for one expansion pack, must have taken a huge amount of time and effort, but what they came out with was absolutely amazing. Now, you could argue that the Aftermath expansion pack for Battlefield 3 did the same thing, but you didn't have to remodel the UI, you still had the same character models, they just had different clothes on them. There weren't any new weapons apart from the Expo. With 4 new maps, yes, Vietnam had 4 new maps. Actually, there was a 5th one, Operation, I can't remember what it's called, Operation Hastings, that's the one. Where there was a community challenge that they had to meet, and something got met about 6 or 7 days after the release of the Vietnam expansion pack, and they released a 5th map for that DLC. It's things like this that they did in Bad Company 2 that they just haven't done in Battlefield 3. I think, personally, this is just my opinion, I think EA are rushing them to get the stuff done. Fair enough, there's a 2-year sort of product cycle for Battlefield 3, which is the same that we had for Bad Company 2. But it wasn't as rushed, it felt more refined, it felt like they'd spent the time that was needed to make the expansion pack work. And I think this is pretty key to Battlefield 4. If there's something that isn't right, it needs to be fixed before you release it. With Battlefield 3, M26 glitch, they released it. Fair enough, they may not have known about it. It took them 1.5 to 2 months to actually fix the problem. There's something like that in Bad Company 2, it just didn't exist in the first place. Fair enough, different engines, all different sort of coding methods and all that kind of stuff. But you didn't have those kind of glitches in Bad Company 2. But anyway, enough of that. If you've got Bad Company 2 Vietnam, then please, for the love of God, play it this weekend. If you haven't played it in a while, great, get on there and play it now. If you've never played it before, you can still purchase it in the PSN store, I think. I think you can still purchase it on Steam as well as an expansion. I think it's about £5 on the top of the price of Bad Company 2 on Steam. But it's a great game, and if you have played it before, then it's time to revisit it this weekend. Servers are filling up, and they'll fill up throughout the day as well, because the Americans come online later today. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed seeing something different than Battlefield 3 on my channel. Finally, we've got some Bad Company 2 up there that I promised ages ago. But yeah, if you did enjoy the video, guys, don't forget to give it a like. It really helps me out so I can see what kind of videos you guys like to watch. But my name is Westy, and I'll see you guys in the next video.